Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl, and welcome back to Yarn on the Beach. This is episode 147, and we are here in Southwest Florida. This is Bonita Beach, watching the sunrise over the buildings and the trees to the east, and this is the Gulf of Mexico behind me, and we have a very exciting discovery this morning. The first protected turtle nest is here, so before we get started, I want to show it to you. It is right over here. I'm going to turn the camera around when I get there. And for those of you who have never been somewhere where you've seen an archaeological dig before, this is exactly what it looked like when I lived in Israel. It used to be barricaded just like that, but you can see there are the stakes, the caution tape, and then you can see the wire fencing that's been put over the nest as well. Can everybody see that? And then there's also a sign that says "Do not disturb sea turtle nest," and then tells you all the fines and imprisonment involved. There's a Florida law chapter and a U.S. Endangerment Species Act, both of which that you could violate if you go there. So I thought you all would like to see that. I don't know how long it'll be until the turtles hatch and come out, but this is what those ladies on the RVs or the ATVs do. Cool, huh? All right, so we'll turn the camera back around and come back down to the beach. We've got a beautiful calm morning here today, but there's definitely a storm coming from the southwest, and I'll show you that in a second too. Okay, you're welcome, Raina. Very exciting, huh? So you can see there's definitely a storm back over there, but I'll show you the whole beach. We've got the beach to the south of us. There's Mike looking for rings and other treasures in the sand. Our swimmers are out there this morning. Beach to the south, few walkers, fishermen, and then here's the big fireball in the sky coming up over the buildings and the trees. Just about nothing to the north of us. I don't see any activity down there, but maybe really far away. And then there's our beautiful beach. Oh, I see a little something swimming out there, besides the swimmers. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me live. If you're joining me live, please say hello and tell me what you're crafting on this morning. Thank you, Lisa. These earrings are brand new. They will be a pattern with chart and video tutorial this week. Super easy to make. I used Be So Fine yarn to make them. Let's see if I can get a good. I used Be So Fine yarn to make them with a 1.25 millimeter crochet hook, so really tiny, and then added a French hook and a jump ring, and voila, earrings. I think that, and I made sure to make an odd number. Yes, I did starch them. I used, the starch that comes in the can. I put it on a washcloth on the kitchen counter, sprayed the one side, turned it around, sprayed the other, waited for it to dry, and did a second coating on both sides. And it's perfectly fine now. I made sure to do an odd number of chains in all of the chain spaces that you see in here. And the reason I did that is so that you could easily add a centered bead in all of those chain spaces. So if you count them, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, is that right? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 chain 3 spaces in there, which means that if you wanted to center a bead in each of those chain spaces, you could easily make beautiful beaded earrings out of this. And so you would need 12 beads per earring, so a total of 24. And I'm planning on making a bunch of these in different colors, some with beads and some without. I love the size. I think the size is great. Obviously they are incredibly light because they're made out of yarn. So for those of you that have sagging ear piercings like I do, you'll love the size without all the weight. And a few beads, a few tiny beads won't make a difference either. Thanks, Sherry. I was asked over the weekend how I've been coming along with the review on the Tunisian crochet hooks, and I have not gotten to it, so I thought here at the beach was a good enough place to start. Yana's working on the Sweet Clara top. That's great. Michelle ordered Be So Soulful yet last night. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you about my dress. Yep, this is the dress that I found at a farmer's market and tried on in the vendor's van. That was my crazy story a couple months back. And I thought that the Blue Danube earrings would go really nicely with it today. I like crazy stories, you know that. Okay, so for the tutorial, I thought that I'd use some Be So Tender yarn, which is worsted weight organic cotton. And let's see, I want to size up, so maybe find a 6mm or an 8mm. Let's try an 8mm. And one of my favorite stitches in Tunisian crochet for a simple stitch is the Tunisian double crochet. So once I get a chain on here, I'll show you how I do that. To start with, I do notice that they have a nice patina to the hooks already. They feel like they've been really finely polished. There are no snags, and even if there were, like I've said before, that would be an easy fix to do. I'm okay with having to finish the wood if I need to on crochet hooks, but this one already has a nice sheen to it and it's extremely soft, extremely smooth. Another thing that I originally noticed on this is that the hook is long enough. Sometimes on a hook that has a cable on it. Rachel says live in 6 minutes. I don't know, I set it for 7:45 and mine showed that it was on time. I don't know about that, sorry. Sometimes if they're too short or too long, it affects the weight and it keeps it unbalanced. So what I like about this is that I don't feel like I'm having to work too hard to keep it balanced while I go. Especially with the, and maybe because the cable is so long, it's an incredibly long cable, so it's not dangling. It's actually weighted and it's literally sitting in my lap. If it's too short and it dangles, it also affects your balance and the weight. So that's another thing that I'm noticing right away that I like. It's funny, I don't think I'm picky, but when it comes to things not functioning the way I want them to, I end up being really picky. So as I'm discovering these things, I want to tell you what I like and don't like. And whether it's, and what's interesting, if it's things that you like or don't like, my observations will help you, because if I like something that you don't like, or you like something that I don't like, even hearing my observations, positive or negative, can still help you, even if we don't have the same tastes. So I think that that's interesting as well. So I've just started with a random number of chains, and I'm going to do a Tunisian double crochet, which means I'll skip the first 2 chains, yarn over my hook, insert my hook in the next stitch, chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through 2. I won't finish the stitch because I'm doing the first half. Do I hear a dolphin out there? All right, my ears are perked now. I thought I heard one breathing through his hole. Okay, back to crochet. All right, so we're going to yarn over our hook, insert our hook in the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert our hook in the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and we'll continue to do this across the entire row of chains. I've done blankets in this stitch before that worked up so quickly and are so beautiful. I did not have a chance to make the face cream this weekend. It will be listed in the shop this week though, I promise. Okay. So now I have the first half of the stitches on the hook, and to do my return row, I'm going to yarn over, pull through one loop for the first stitch, and then for the rest of the row, yarn over, pull through two. Yarn over, pull through two. And there we have our first row of Tunisian double crochet. Now, my next observation is going to be that whether this is the hook shape that's shaped like a Susan Bates or a boy or whatever, I happen to be a Susan Bates fan or a tulip fan, which is the hybrid between boy and Susan Bates in my opinion. So whether this is shaped like tulip or shaped like Susan Bates, it's working extremely well for me. So I would say that if you want to try them and you're a boy fan, it's possible that they will be good for you too, but for somebody that is the other side, I am screaming with delight on the inside that I don't have to have a large learning curve for using these, because for some reason the hook is working extremely well for me. You notice I didn't get caught up on any of the stitches, so that's exciting. So now to do the next row of Tunisian double crochet, you're going to be working in those elongated loops, and you have two choices. You can work into them the same as you do Tunisian simple stitch, or you can work into them the same as Tunisian knit stitch, and I'll show you what that means. So we start with a chain 2, and now the chain 2 counts as the first stitch in this one. So you go to the next stitch, that next elongated stitch. You're going to yarn over your hook. If you work into it through the front loop from right to left, that's the beginning of Tunisian simple stitch, right? But I'm going to take that out. We do yarn over hook. If we insert front to back through both loops, that would be the equivalent of Tunisian knit stitch, so it would be a Tunisian double knit stitch. And we'll do that one just for fun. Well, maybe we'll alternate 2 rows and see how they look. So I'm going to yarn over my hook, insert my hook from front to back between both loops of the elongated stitch from the row below, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And I'll do that across this whole row. See, for working with a new hook, for me to be able to pick up speed this quickly means the hook shape and the patina or smoothness of the hook are really working well for my crochet style. Okay, so we've got our second row begun. Yep, YouTube reverses all the tutorials, so if anybody's having a problem because it's left-handed, sorry about that. I think you can get the gist of it. When I do live stream tutorials, they aren't totally legit tutorials. They're just kind of to give you the concept anyway. So I have hundreds of tutorials for proper tutorials. Okay, so there's working through the stitches in the row below from front to back through the middle of them. So that would be the equivalent of a Tunisian knit stitch, but in double crochet. So a Tunisian double knit stitch. And now I'll show you how to do the simple stitch version. So we're going to chain 2 to count as our first stitch, yarn over, insert our hook from right to left through the front loop of that elongated stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Hopefully that's showing up on camera, and we'll do that across this whole row. So we're inserting our crochet hook in the same way that we would for Tunisian simple stitch, except we're adding the element of double crochet. So we're yarn overing our hook, then inserting our hook from right to left through the front loop only of the stitch below, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and we'll do that across the entire row. And there we have another row begun. And we'll finish off this row, same as the last one, yarn over, pull through 1 loop for the first stitch, and then yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the stitches on the entire row. Okay, and there we have another row of Tunisian double crochet, and you'll see the first row was our setup row. Our second row was done in the fashion of Tunisian knit stitch, so Tunisian double knit stitch. And then in the next row we did Tunisian double crochet in the technique of simple stitch, so it would be Tunisian double simple stitch. And you can see there is a slight variation between them. All pretty, and honestly, striping it in this way would be a very subtle stripe as well. I really like that idea. I think it's really pretty. Yes, it'd be gorgeous for a bag. It'd be gorgeous for a scarf. And I didn't put them in my shop yet, Connie, because I wanted to make sure that I liked them first. I would never want to recommend a product to all of you that I didn't like first. So as soon as we finish Yarn on the Beach, I will be adding them to the shop, I promise. Because I am definitely happy with the quality of them, very much so. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, it is getting really dark over there. The bugs are out too. The bugs were out on Friday, and what really stinks about bugs coming down here is that they're annoying when they bite you, but then that goes away and it's 2 days later that they start to itch. And yesterday I was an itching fool. I ended up having to take Benadryl last night to go to, could you use them for any, oh Lisa, I'm guessing you might have meant stitch. Yeah, absolutely you could use them for any stitch. Sherry, what would you like to know about the crochet along? Faye says it is raining in Marco Island, and remember I talked about where Faye is visiting. She's visiting down there. See where this, the cityscape ends? She's on an island just past that, and because it's so dark down there, I find it very likely that it is pouring where she's at. I think they were sand fleas, but what happens is when somebody told me that they thought it was because we had an east wind, and because the wind was coming from the trees that they were being blown down to the beach. Some people call them no-see-ums, some people call them, why are you sad, Jenny? I'll put them in the shop as soon as the broadcast's over. I didn't want to put them in the shop until I liked them. I would hate to recommend something to you that I didn't already think was a great idea or a great product. So anyway, the bugs are back out this morning, but oh well. Too many comments at once, I couldn't see, sorry. Someone told me to wear a hat, but I don't know why. Yeah, sand fleas do hurt when they bite, and they hurt even more when they start itching. Don't even know what you put on. Maybe citronella oil? I don't know. Yes, Lisa, I will be putting them in the shop as soon as the... oh, Jenny's not allowed to buy anything else. Okay. Yeah, it is nice that you don't have to turn your work. There's lots of reasons to like Tunisian crochet. It's such a fun skill to have in your repertoire, and you have so many different possibilities once you start with it. Tea tree oil, yes, Faye, I did know of that one. I'm going to put some tea tree oil in a carrier oil, if anybody knows what that means. That means essential oils work better if you put them in a base oil first. So I will make a homemade remedy tonight. I'll add maybe avocado oil or argan oil or something and add some tea tree oil to it and put it on before I come to the beach tomorrow. I need something because this is ridiculous. Does anybody have any other questions about the Tunisians? I can show you the sizes too. Looks like they start pretty small. Starts at a 3 mil and goes through a 10 mil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there's 12 sizes in the kit. Lisa's excited to start her Morgana shawl this week. Wonderful. Yep, that's what I'll do. I will put it in a spray bottle and put it in Dolly the Wonder Wagon. Perfect. Oh, faces, wait till I see her bites tomorrow. My ankles had like 50 yesterday. What type of projects do I make with Tunisian hooks, Jenny wants to know. I've made blankets, I've made scarves, I've made a beret, I've made bags, I've made pot holders, I've made a rug before. What else? I have made a ruana, I've made a shrug, I've made all sorts of things. Tunisian is a fun way to do color work too, because where you pick up the yarns can make it actually look more woven than crocheted. Yeah, Ruthie, it's a lot of bites. Anything would work, Jenny. And one of the things that's important to know about working with Tunisian is that it makes your fabric more dense. You notice how I said I wanted to size up on my hook this morning when I began? I'm using a worsted weight yarn here, and in order to give it drape and laciness, I went up to an 8mm hook for worsted weight yarn to make it lacy. Now, if I wanted to keep it dense for a pot holder or a rug or a bag or something of that nature, I would use just the standard size. So if I stuck with a size 5mm, which would be pretty standard for a worsted weight yarn, I'd get a dense fabric. Do I have patterns on my website? I have hundreds of patterns on my website. If you're asking about a specific one, you'll need a little more information than that. But yes, I have hundreds of patterns on my website. And if you go to the free pattern page, they're all organized by category, so you can really narrow it down well. Donna wants to try something new. Good, you should. And I do have Tunisian patterns on my website as well. And I have Tunisian crochet tutorials here on YouTube as well. I have Tunisian scarf patterns. I have Tunisian coffee mug warmers, cozies, which is a great way to just learn a new stitch, so you can learn small. Lily, I saw you say yes, but I don't know to what. The reason for the cable. Oh, the reason for the cable is if you did a ton of stitches. If you're making a blanket, this would hold all of the stitches. Let's say that when I was picking up the stitches, this will hold enough stitches for a shawl or a blanket or a cardigan work seamlessly. Look at how many stitches it'll hold. It's perfect for a blanket. When I made a Tunisian crochet blanket, I believe I used an 8 or a 9mm hook, and I think I did like 120 or 130 stitches and used it on a cable, and that way everything can stay on at one time. It's wonderful. It's all the benefits of like using a circular set of knitting needles that holds all the stitches at one time. There are Tunisian patterns on my website, yep, and this one happens to be extremely long, but I've used ones that are long before that were heavy, and what I really like about this one is that it's really light but is still weighted with the bead. The earrings are not on my website yet. They will be on my website either later today or tomorrow, and I will be showing you how to add the option of beads. I made sure that all of the chain spaces in this design are odd numbers so that you can add a bead in the center of any one of them. Sherry, you should use whatever crochet hook size looks good for the yarn. I mentioned this in a post on the crochet along yesterday. When you're substituting yarn, there is no wrong hook size to use, but if you want it to be loose and drapey, you would really want to go up a hook size, but you really have to try it and check out what your personal tension and the yarn and the hook look like together. So if you wanted to do a sport weight yarn and keep it light and loose, you would want to go up a hook size or two, maybe even 3. You could try a 5mm H or something like that as well, but it will depend on how your tension looks with the yarn and the hook. So I would just experiment. I guess DJ's leaving. I see lots of goodbyes. Bye, DJ. Yeah, so Be So Bare is twice the weight of Be So Fine yarn, so you're definitely going to want to go up in hook sizes, definitely. When I did the cold shoulder top in Be So Bare, which is also the Morgana pattern, I used an H hook. The black cardi is not done yet. It is still on the hooks, or on the needles. You're welcome, Sherry. I talked a lot more about it in a post on the Crochet Along on Ravelry last night, so if you want to read through that, I explain it a little bit more. Lisa says my hair looks different today. It does. I think it has less product in it today. I washed my hair yesterday and slept in a bun, took it down, and this morning I used a little bit of dry shampoo and I used a little bit of the sea salt spray to try to keep my wavies in my hair from sleeping in a bun. And did 2 really tiny twists. I took very little hair and made a twist. Just like in the bang, if I had bangs, I just used a little bit of bang hair to do that. Ruthie says my hair is getting long. I hope so. I'm so excited for my hair to get long, and I'm making such huge strides to try to keep it healthy so it'll look beautiful when it gets super long. So I'm reducing the amount of time that I wash my hair by using dry shampoo. I'm reducing the heat that I put on it. I rarely blow dry my hair. I rarely put hot rollers or curling irons. I do pin curls with bobby pins. I do anything I can to keep damaging things off my hair. I don't dye it. The sun bleaches my hair, so I'm so lucky there. And I probably have a ton of gray coming through, which is keeping it light, but until it looks gray, I don't care. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, I just want to keep growing it as long as it stays healthy. Lisa, you know, Lisa, I do have some ideas about shampoo and conditioner, and I have made a deep conditioning treatment for hair. I have the recipe on my website, I believe. I haven't thought about making it to sell it, but my ideas for shampoo involve apple cider vinegar, and I'm not sure how many people would like that. I've grown my hair out for a charity before too. I had my hair this long and I cut it to here and donated all my hair to charity for children's wigs. I did that, I want to say mid-2000s, maybe around 2005, 2006. But my hair is so fine. The older I get, the thinner or finer my hair gets, so I'm not sure I actually have that much hair to donate even if I did that again. Yeah, Ruthie, apple cider vinegar is really good as a rinse. Even if you don't use it for shampoo or anything, it strips all of the buildup off of your hair from any products that you've used. Yep, Locks of Love is who I used back in 2005 or 2006 too. So apple cider vinegar does lots of things to your hair actually. It strips all the buildup from product. It also flattens the hair, the scales on the hair shaft, which is the same thing that a blowout does. You know how when you get your hair blown out that it has that extra shine, it looks so smooth? Well, apple cider vinegar, if you leave it soaking on your hair for a while, will do the same thing. Isn't that amazing? Gosh, I think I keep hearing a dolphin. I guess it's wishful thinking. I saw a manatee and a baby yesterday. I was visiting a friend's house who lives on a canal, and we were hanging out on her deck before dinner, and we saw a mama manatee that was about 8 feet long or bigger, and the baby was under her belly, so we were just admiring the manatee swimming by. Oh, how cute, how cute. Being sad because we saw some of her scars from propeller, boat propellers and stuff like that. But then as she went by, we saw a baby come up from under her belly, and baby was like this big, but compared to the 8-foot manatee, it looked teeny tiny. So cute. You know what, Heather? I use apple cider vinegar straight on my hair. I have not done any research about diluting it, but what you want to do is make sure you keep it on for a few minutes. It's important that it stays on for a few minutes. Oh yeah, I've seen that shampoo too, Beatrice, that has no bottle. Yep, that's interesting too. So learning how to make your own shampoo so that you could reuse your container would be really awesome as well. No, it doesn't leave a vinegar smell on the hair, Jenny. It does not. You're welcome, Lisa. In fact, I'm overdue for a apple cider vinegar treatment in my hair. I haven't done that in a while, so thank you for the reminder. They saw Mama Manatee and Baby too. Isn't that sweet? Oh, we were so excited. We got goosebumps when we saw it yesterday. It was so exciting, so unexpected. Kimberly likes apple cider vinegar. Yes, Sherry, I do believe it helps with an itchy scalp. I would highly recommend Googling benefits of apple cider vinegar for your hair and your scalp. There's tons of great information out there. I don't do it as often as I should, Heather. I think you should do it every couple of weeks. Be interesting to see what some of the health sites say, but I would imagine you could do it weekly. I would like to do it every 2 weeks. I happen to have forgotten for a while. Yeah, it makes your hair soft and shiny. Yes, absolutely. You just put it on. You just pour a little bit on and then massage it into your scalp and let it sit there for a while. Yeah, it has many benefits. It also gets rid of some of the bad, the bad bacteria on your scalp, so it does help with skin conditions as well. Very much so. Oh yeah, if you have a coconut allergy, that might be tough, Jane. Oh, I love to put apple cider vinegar in my drinks, yes. I buy the kind that has the mother in it, and I add it to water with fresh lemon and cayenne. That'll get you started in the morning. Definitely a good waker-upper. Oh, we've gone over. That's what happens when we start talking about interesting subjects, right? We start a subject late and we could go on for another half hour. Except we all probably don't have the time. So we'll save it for tomorrow or for another day. If anybody has other questions about that, I would be more than happy to share my knowledge if I have an answer, and if I don't, I will tell you I don't and suggest where I think you should go to look for more information. You know what, Lily? I've heard that too. I've never noticed it helping me with weight in my belly, but if it does help you with weight in the belly, that's awesome. Okay, well, we're out of time, so let's take a minute here to look out on this gorgeous view that we didn't really even talk about today. But how pretty are these colors today? We've got lots of blue, the fluffy white clouds, different shades of blue. And then those sweet little baby waves crashing on the shore. All right, so let's look out on this gorgeous view, listen to the waves, and set our intentions for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out of your busy Monday to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed this day and every day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.